This is Donna Skoglund, and I want to talk about eating better. What does that even mean? There's so much contradictory information out there of what's the best diet. Do I eat paleo? Do I eat vegetarian? Do I eat a high-fat, low-sugar diet? Grains are good, grains are bad, beans are good, beans are bad. Oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. And you can find really great evidence for pretty much any fad diet out there. And the thing is that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to eating. And in Ayurveda, it's not what you eat, it's what you digest that counts. So what we need to do, eating better, is all about optimizing our digestion and allowing our digestive system to be very strong and very balanced so that what we do eat gets broken down into energy and into matter that we can actually use to create the cells of our body. Now it really does also matter what you eat, but we can just take a very common sense, logical approach. If it is in its whole form, if it grows out of the ground, if it's found in nature, then it can't be that bad. So that's pretty much the only guideline that I go by. I try to eat as much whole foods as possible and as many plant species as possible. So I try to really diversify the plants that I'm eating. I try to eat a lot of different kinds of greens, including invasive species. That means the dandelions that are growing anywhere in the world, pretty much. And what I find in farmers markets and what I can grow in my own little garden, and as much variety as possible, because the variety allows you to get a wide range of vitamins and minerals. And the problem is that our soil is so depleted, the topsoil is so depleted that we're missing a lot of vital nutrients. So the more we can actually go towards invasive species and look for different kinds of greens and not just eat spinach all the time or spinach and kale all the time, but we'll just get more of a wider array. Now that's the what of eating, but then there's the how of eating, and that's just as important. So if you are eating really great food, but you're totally stressed out and you're eating on the run, or you're eating like small meals all day long, you're just kind of snacking or eating on the go, then your body is actually not digesting that food optimally. So how you eat matters. When to optimize your digestion, to eat in a way that your body can actually process that really healthy food that you're feeding yourself, you want to be in a relaxed state. So the parasympathetic nervous system is called it triggers the rest and digest response, which literally means we are in a place where we can digest. So if you are angry or frustrated or upset, then all that blood is not concentrated in your digestive system. It's usually going out into the limbs, and you're in a stress response, and your body is in no condition to eat. So never eat while you're angry or upset. And the problem is that food is often the first thing we'll go to when we are upset. And emotional eating is a big thing, because when we eat, we instantly feel grounded. And that's the response on the body. When we eat, because the blood goes to our digestive system, we feel a little bit more relaxed. We feel more grounded. We feel settled. It actually has a little bit of a numbing effect, which often is what we're looking for when we have uncomfortable emotions that we don't want to experience. So we'll stuff our emotions down, or we'll eat our emotions. And that's not a good thing, because often the food that we choose in those times, it's often like either a high salt or high sugar or processed food or comfort foods. And it's not because we're truly hungry, it's because we're trying to change our state through what we're eating. So we want to find different ways of coping with our emotions, and even learning how to just experience our emotions instead of trying to run away from them. Another part of the how of eating is that you want to chew your food and eat slowly and mindfully, because a lot of the digestion process happens in the mouth through your saliva, and that's the first stage of digestion. So if you're just stuffing things down, if you're distracted, if you're on your computer, if you're watching TV, or if you're deep in a conversation with someone, you're not actually having a really good, adequate first stage of digestion through that chewing process. And when you actually take the time to chew your food and eat slowly and mindfully, you'll register as full much sooner. The problem is when we're kind of rushing through our meals, we're not even in touch with our body's response for satiety. I don't know how that word is pronounced. And then we don't feel satisfied. And then often what happens is 20 minutes later, we'll actually just go eat again because we haven't actually processed the food that we ate and we weren't mindfully taking in the tastes and savoring our food. And then we'll often feel hungry shortly after. So you want to eat slowly, you want to eat mindfully, you want to eat when you're undistracted and you're ready to receive food, meaning you're not emotionally upset or having angry or anything like that. The when of eating is also very important. Now, our digestion in Ayurveda, the digestive capacity is called our Agni. And the Agni is like the fire element in our body. And in Ayurveda, everything is made up of the 5 elements. And the elements reside within our bodies, and they also reside in nature. And the elements inside of us actually mimic what's happening out in nature. So when the sun, which is the biggest fire element there is highest in the sky, that means the digestive fire inside of our bellies is the strongest, which means that we can fully burn the most amount of food, the most fat, the most protein in the middle of the day. This means that lunch should actually be our main meal. This is when we can eat the most food and really have like a lovely, lavish, awesome, big lunch and pretty much eat whatever we want and be able to fully digest it. We can't do the same at the end of the day because as the sun goes down, our digestive capacity goes down. And the later you eat, the less bile you actually have in your digestive system, which means that food doesn't get fully processed. And when it doesn't get fully processed, it just sits there. And it actually turns into, in Ayurveda, the word is ama. And ama is this word for this toxic, sticky, sludgy residue that's a byproduct of undigested food, but it's also a byproduct of undigested emotions and experiences. So when we're not experiencing our feelings, when we're stuffing them down, then that also turns into ama. And ama can show up in so many different ways. It can show up as feeling really groggy in the morning, or having achy joints, or having just chronic aches and pains, or having mental fog, or feeling just a sense of lethargy or heavy emotions like sadness or depression. It can also show up as anxiety, so many things. And it's said that ama is actually the root cause of all diseases. This means that the stakes are very high for optimizing your digestion. That means having a strong Agni and not putting a lot of food on a digestive system that isn't prepared to handle it, meaning not eating late at night and not eating heavy foods at night. So we should be eating a lighter, earlier dinner, and then not eating once the sun goes down, or at least not very much, or at least not foods that are hard to digest, and then not eating throughout the night, not having that midnight snack. And then when we wake up and when the sun wakes up, our digestive system is just waking up. So we don't want to overload our digestive system with a lot of food first thing in the morning either. So that, big breakfast of pancakes, steak, and eggs is probably not the best choice. So that's very briefly the what, the how, and the when of eating for you to eat better, so that you can digest fully, so that you can have tons of energy and feel clear and bright and happy and live a very healthful, vibrant life. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or if you want to learn more, please reach out and I'd love to help.